Okay, we're going to try something new. I've got the new what is it called? The Dolly system in vrchat. This is a new system that's been put out there on the beta version of vrchat. This is revolutionary. This is going to change so many things when it comes to content creation and just trying to create a different style of scene. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but hopefully I can set this up for future videos. But this isn't what I'm here today. I'm not here to dangle a carrot in front of you and tell you, listen, come back and I'll show you something more. I'll show you these things, because that's something I'm going to do anyway. I'm just thankful everyone shows up. I'm thankful you woke up this morning and decided to click on the video and just come here and be like, hey, cool, this guy's doing something neat. Let's talk about it. Let's find out what he's talking about and why this is a very important topic. Now, throughout my time working, throughout my time through life, there is one thing that I have really learned for myself, and that's to be myself, to be who I am, and to step forward and do things for myself. Things that I have seen going on and around, like there is stuff with my job where I will go to my work, right? I've already shown up. I've woken up. I've put on my clothes. I've gotten in my car. I've driven an hour to get to my work. This is the everyday thing for my work, is I get up and I go there for an hour drive just to get to my work. My work is very labor intensive. I'm an electrician by trade. These things are not easy to do, let alone if you're going to get up and go to the office for a day. These are not easy tasks in the first place. The fact that you woke up this morning, you've won. The fact that you were able to pour a cup of coffee and not pour it on your hand, you won. Those are the little wins that get us through the day. Now, in the last little bit, I've seen some things. I've heard some things. I've watched friends pour their heart out over certain circumstances that have happened in their past. And it just makes me remember that you got to do a lot for yourself. People show up for you. You're here right now watching this video because you want to listen to what I have to say. And I thank every single one of you that do. And if you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. This is YouTube. Unfortunately, if I don't say that, you don't subscribe. This is the facts of life. This is YouTube, where majority of you are maybe watching on a TV or a mobile device and not even logged in. Do me a favor, log into YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Hell, leave a comment down below of maybe a time that you were at your job where your job asked a little bit more of you, saying, oh, if you do this, we're going to give you a little bit more work. That's not work. The work is not guaranteed in the first place. These are the things that we have to deal with, and it's really unfortunate and something that has been driving me up the wall. It actually gives me anxiety, and I've been trying to talk to someone about it because it's not right in the long run. When you sit there and you go to work, right? You go to work, you get paid for your time there, you do all these things, and then all of a sudden your boss comes out and say, hey, listen, I need you to work the weekend. If you work this weekend, you know what? We have more work coming up. Maybe I can throw you some more work. That's not how this works. That's not how this whole system works. You're not there to gain favors. They're there as an employer to try and sit there and say, hey, listen, I'm going to do these things. And this goes the same with friends. If friends want you there, they're going to ask you to be there. And you're already putting your heart out and saying, hey, listen, I'll do this. I'll go there. I'll do the things you want me to do. But if I'm going to show up, at least make an effort to do something more. I'm there as a friend in a lot of cases. I'm there. I'm not doing anyone favors by doing this for myself. I'm there trying to help a friend, trying to do something more for a friend. And in that sense, sometimes people forget these things. You wake up, and sometimes a lot of people don't think that's enough. And it really is. And that's the biggest takeaway on all of this. The fact that you woke up, you went to work and did your job, were able to put in an honest day's work and do these things, it's great. But when I have an employer saying, There's more work coming down the line. Do just a little bit extra here, and we'll make sure you get that work down the line. All right. But now, this goes back the other way at the same time. I deal with a lot of personal issues. I have a child. That child is special needs. There's a lot of things that go on for that child, and a lot of things have to go right in a day for us to get through the day properly. When I go to work, my wife, my loving wife, sits at home and is able to do the things needed for our child. And recently we actually just went through a whole situation because our child does go to school. He is of that age. But we went through a situation where the schools weren't allowing our child to go to school, saying that there wasn't enough people to take care of him. Because there's extra needs, there's extra things, and there was a whole strike, the whole business. It was absolutely horrific, right? Luckily, I've been off for the last little bit, so it kind of worked out in that sense. I was able to be at home, but it takes both of us to do things like that. So thankfully, that's the case. But when it comes to work, now I'm having to sacrifice a lot of things just to try and earn a dollar, to earn a paycheck. And the fact that I'm showing up and saying, and just saying, hey, listen, I know I've said I'm going to be here, but every once in a while, I do have something that comes up in my real life. And when I'm working the hours, I work the hours that I work, which are absolutely inhumane at this point. I work up to 60 hours a week, if not more. Sometimes 72. That's not normal. That's not normal work at all, and real life happens. And I've had this situation in the last little bit. I've actually gone through 2 jobs because they didn't understand that real life happens. They didn't understand I'm putting in the solid effort to show up, do the work, and do the business every day. But then I need a day off every once in a while to recuperate, or I need a day off because equipment breaks, house maybe gets flooded. Who knows? There's things that happen in a day, and sometimes that's just not enough. Sometimes you get left to the wayside because you get told that you're not doing enough, that just showing up and trying your best every day isn't enough. You know, they spout a whole big game saying, hey, listen, what you're doing is enough. If you ever need to talk to someone, talk to us and we'll explain things and we'll be able to get these things down. But then when you try and do that, then it comes back in a negative light. So then what? Is someone actually out there looking after you? Or is it always about the company business? Is it always about the big entity? Unfortunately, that's the facts that I've had to deal with in the last little bit. And now I saw a friend. I saw a friend get hurt. Not knowing the whole details. I don't know all the details, and they're a newer friend, and it pains me when I hear of these things and going through my own scenario and seeing what they've gone through. And it's very, very similar in that sense. But in this case, they had a lot of friends. And sometimes I think the whole idea that, yeah, you're trying to produce something. We do a lot of this as a hobby. I do this as a hobby. I do this as something extracurricular. I don't do this as a business. It'd be cool if it was, but the facts of life is this isn't going to pay my bills. And that's plain and simple. Sure, it helps out. Sure, things go decently overall. We have a community here that has supported me immensely, and I do thank every single one of them because it lets me continue this hobby and continue making videos like this of topics that need to be talked about. And it's really unfortunate when I hear that a friend got left at the wayside, got pretty much used, and told to sit in a corner. That's not right. That's not right. I don't like to see that. And it pains me beyond belief. And then I sit there and I reflect on my own situations in this. And I sit there and I go, why is the world this way? Why is it that anytime you try and do something for yourself, someone else comes in and they try and pick up those pieces. They try and pick up those pieces and take the good parts of that you've done and say, hey, listen, if that's the case, then maybe you need to do something more and give something back to me. This is recently probably something I've gone through. I tried to do things more, put myself out there, try and help someone, didn't ask for it. At the same time, I woke up and went, you know what, let's try and make an impact. Let's try and do something more. I wake up, I go to work, I'm like, okay, I'm going to work. I got this panel I can wire up and do all these things. At the end of the day, then I go home and go, hey, listen, I did something amazing today. Okay, now I got to go back the next day and do it all over again. But then the pressures of work is like, okay, we need you to do a little bit more. That's the thing. When you sit there and you try, you show up, you try and be there for your friends, you try and be there for the people that matter. And then those that matter turn around and say, hey, listen, you did an okay job, but you didn't do enough. So we got to cut you. And then you sit there and go, well, why? You ask yourself, why is it like this? Why do we have to sit there and be told that's the case? Why wasn't it enough? And that's where I sit there looking at it all, going, I don't know what to do next. The last job, I did everything possible to try and be there, to try and do everything possible, to do the best work I could possibly do. Things out of my control. And then it's like, well, you didn't do enough. You didn't take the extra steps. Doesn't matter that I was working 5-6 days a week. Can't do things on a regular. It didn't matter that I was taking time out of my Christmas break to be there. No, that because of that, it wasn't enough. Anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. You've done a fantastic job listening this long, and I can't thank you enough. And if that's the case, maybe hit the subscribe button, follow, share it out with the world, and just know, even if you made it to this part or you made it 1 minute wherever in the video, that was enough, and thank you. Have yourselves a great day. I am your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. I'm signing off here, and I will see you again very soon.